Imagine a world without blue. No blue skies, no blue oceans, no blue eyes. Sounds impossible, doesn't it? But for our ancient ancestors, this may have been their reality. Picture this: a world where the vast, awe-inspiring expanse of the sky or the deep, mysterious depths of the ocean hold no azure hues. A world where the color of tranquility and wisdom remains undiscovered, unappreciated. This world might seem alien to us, but for our ancient forebears it was a part of their everyday existence. The ancient Greeks and Romans, civilizations renowned for their advancements in various fields, surprisingly did not have a word for blue. The color we associate with serenity and calm was seen as a mark of the barbarian, a symbol of the other. Now, you might wonder, could these advanced civilizations really not perceive the color that surrounds us? Some theories suggest that perhaps they were colorblind to blue. The idea isn't as far-fetched as it might seem. After all, color is a construct of the mind, a perception that relies on our brain's interpretation of different wavelengths of light. Notably, this absence of blue isn't confined to the Greeks and Romans alone. Other ancient cultures too lacked a term for blue in their texts. The exceptions, however, were the Egyptians, who not only recognized blue but also invented the first synthetic blue pigment, Egyptian blue. This leads us to an intriguing question. Could it really be that blue was invisible to ancient civilizations, or is there more to this mystery? As we delve deeper into this enigma, we'll explore how this absence of blue in ancient times could have profound implications for our understanding of color perception and our connection to the past. So let's journey together into the blue, or rather, the lack of it. Let's unravel the enigma of the absent blue. If our ancestors couldn't see blue, then how did it come into existence, you may wonder? Well, let me take you on a journey to the land of the pharaohs, where blue first made its grand entrance on the world stage. The ancient Egyptians were the first to bring blue into the limelight. They invented a synthetic pigment, dubbed Egyptian blue, with the aim of imitating the color of precious stones. This was no easy feat. The process required a deep understanding of chemistry and a precise control of high temperatures, displaying the Egyptians' remarkable ingenuity. And so, blue was born, not in the sky or the sea, but in the scorching kilns of ancient Egypt. However, the story of blue doesn't end there. In fact, it was just getting started. This new, exotic pigment soon began to spread beyond the borders of Egypt, capturing the fascination of different cultures. Yet, as it journeyed across the globe, something curious was noticed. Despite its widespread use, blue was often the last color to be named by various civilizations. Lazarus Geiger, a philologist and linguist, discovered this intriguing pattern. He found that the sequence in which cultures named colors followed a surprisingly consistent order. Black and white came first, followed by red, green or yellow, and finally, our elusive blue. This observation suggested that blue was not only the last to be discovered, but also the last to be recognized and named. But why was blue the last? Was it due to its rarity in nature, or perhaps, as some suggest, because our ancestors couldn't see it? One could argue that without a name, a color is harder to notice, harder to separate from the spectrum of hues that color our world. However, once blue was named, it quickly rose to prominence. In early modern Europe, for instance, blue dye made from woad became associated with nobility, signifying wealth and status. Painters began to use the expensive pigment to depict sacred figures, further elevating the status of blue. Blue, the last color to be discovered, soon became a symbol of nobility and divine connection. Who would have thought that the color of our sky and sea, once invisible to our ancestors, would come to hold such power and significance in our world today? From a world without blue, we transitioned into a world where blue was everywhere. But how? Let's journey together into the past, to a time when the color blue began to seep into the fabric of human society, quite literally. In early modern Europe, a dye called woad, which produced a rich blue color, started to become associated with nobility. This humble plant, with its small yellow flowers, was transformed through a complex process into a dye that colored the garments of the elite. The color blue, once absent from human language and perhaps even perception, was now a symbol of status, of power, of nobility. But the story of blue doesn't end there. In the realm of art, blue held a special place. It was an expensive pigment, a luxury only a few could afford. Painters, those artisans of illusion and emotion, often used blue to depict the Virgin Mary, adding an almost divine aspect to this color. The pigment they used was ultramarine, a blue so deep and so vibrant that it seemed to carry a piece of the sky. This pigment was made from grinding lapis lazuli, a semi-precious stone, into a fine powder. In far-off China, the story of blue takes another turn. Chinese artisans crafted porcelain, delicate and beautiful, painted with intricate designs in blue. This blue and white porcelain was made with an expensive ingredient, cobalt. The result was breathtaking, objects of such beauty that they were valued across the globe. European artisans, enthralled by these exquisite works of art, tried to replicate them. But the secrets of making this blue and white porcelain eluded them, until the 18th century, when the secrets were finally leaked. Blue, once a missing color, was now a symbol of wealth and power. We went from a world where blue was perhaps unseen and certainly unnamed, to a world where blue was everywhere. In the clothes of the nobility, in the paintings of the Virgin Mary, in the porcelain vases from China. How did this happen? And more importantly, how did this affect our perception of this color? Let's dive deeper into the enigma that is blue. Blue is everywhere now, but does everyone see it the same way? It's a compelling question, isn't it? Let's delve into the fascinating world of color perception, which is deeply influenced by cultural context and language. Consider the Himba tribe of Namibia, who have an intriguing relationship with color. They don't have separate words for blue and green in their language. Instead, they use the same word to describe both hues. This linguistic nuance has a profound effect on their perception of these colors. They don't distinguish blue from green as we do. Instead, they perceive these two distinct colors as one. This phenomenon isn't exclusive to the Himba tribe. It's been seen across various cultures and periods. Ancient Greeks, for instance, didn't possess a term for blue, which led to theories suggesting they might not have perceived the color as we do. But does this mean these cultures were colorblind? Not at all. It's more of a testament to the power and influence of language on our perception. You see, without a term to describe a specific color, distinguishing it becomes a challenging feat. It's as if the color blends into the background, unnoticed and unappreciated. This theory is further supported by a study that showed the Himba tribe, despite not having a word for green, could easily identify different shades of green that look identical to us. This suggests that our perception of color is not just about what our eyes see, but also about how our language allows us to describe and categorize what we see. In essence, language shapes our reality. It's the lens through which we perceive and make sense of the world around us. It's a powerful tool that not only allows us to communicate, but also influences how we understand and interpret our surroundings. So, is our perception of blue universal, or is it just a construct of language and culture? It's a question that keeps the mystery of blue alive and continues to intrigue us. As we delve deeper into the mystery of blue, more questions than answers seem to arise. The color that once didn't even have a name now not only exists but holds significant symbolic meaning. Blue, a color of paradoxes, represents unity yet also solitude, power yet also melancholy. It is the color that has painted our history in a myriad of shades, each telling its own unique story. Consider blue jeans, a universal wardrobe staple. These indigo-dyed denim trousers are a product of the textile revolution, sparked by the arrival of indigo dye in Europe. From workers to fashionistas, blue jeans have become a symbol of comfort and versatility, an embodiment of the color's everyman appeal. Yet, blue also has its exclusive allure. Take, for instance, the deep ultramarine hue known as International Klein Blue. Perfected by French artist Yves Klein, this color is not just an artistic statement, but a testament to the continuing fascination and exploration of blue. It's a color that has, over time, become synonymous with innovation and creativity. Blue also continues to be a color of power and unity. From the azure of the United Nations flag to the regal cobalt in royal crests, blue is a color that commands respect and symbolizes consensus. Yet, despite its omnipresence in our lives today, the enigma of blue persists. The color that was once absent in our language and perhaps our perception now pervades our world. This raises a curious question, a question about the power of language and our perception of reality. So we leave you with this thought-provoking question. If the color blue didn't exist in language, would it disappear from our world as well?